Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Always glad to see you guys here on a Friday afternoon, getting ready for I think for all of us as resellers, a 3-day weekend. I think, depending on the state that you're in, some do not celebrate the holiday on Monday. That's Juneteenth, and no mail, U.S. mail. I can tell you though, and one thing that I have to remember is that FedEx will still run and do pickups on Monday, but not the U.S. Postal Service. So I was doing some checking into that last night. So how have your sales been this week? And mine have been kind of just flat, for lack of a better term. And I kind of just shrugged it off and didn't really think too much of it. Just kept doing everything I need to do. I had a decent Monday, and then it just really about half sales on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so normally what I do is Thursday is when I do my end item sell similar. And I wasn't really getting, normally I get a lot of offers, or a combination of that and offers I can send to watchers, but really none of that. No offers really. And rarely, I think maybe one or two a day was what I was sending out. So I'm like, something isn't right here. And just started checking. I think I recalled a moment like about a year ago where I allowed my markdown sale to lapse, and it kind of felt like that. So I went to my markdown sale, and while I still have my markdown sales mapped out for another couple months, that's fine. I saw that I had two active markdown sales. It was really weird. Now I posted this. I sent a community post in the app. I don't know if many saw it or not, but I was having problems posting the actual screenshot, so I had to take a photo of it. But it was the weirdest thing in that it was showing a markdown sale from the 11th at 10 like 30 p.m. to the 11th at 8:30 p.m. And it said that I had 250 some odd dollars in sales because of that promotion. That there's no way it could have run, right? Based on the times, it had ended before it had even begun. If that makes any sense. And then the second markdown sale was from the 12th to the 18th, which was the one that I had made, and it had no sales attached to it at all. So I'm like, this is really weird. I have never seen anything like this. I wonder if this had something to do with the stuff that eBay's been doing over the last week. So I just removed them, both sales, and I went in and created a new one in its place. That was last night. Woke up this morning, had two offers, had a ton of watchers to send offers to, and I had sales. So, and I was trying to get stuff done this morning, kept getting offers, and was making deals with people. So pretty good day today, about a $500 day, which is about par. So I'm happy with that. We still have the rest of the evening to go. But yeah, and I checked my other account, didn't have any such glitches with the markdown sales. But maybe someone else had a weird glitch with their markdown sale. I don't think this is a very mainstream issue, which is why I didn't even bother making a video. I just wanted to share with you like the glitch of the day kind of thing. And that was my glitch of the day. It was just very, very strange. So I know a lot of people are having problems with the site. Word has it that I guess they've taken the site down this week for hours on end at night. And I guess I think I've said before that, hey, when do we want eBay, if they're going to mess with the site at all? I mean, I'd rather them just walk away and not touch the site. But if they're going to do updates to the site, I mean, when would it be? Probably the summertime, right? I'm glad they're not trying to take whatever they're trying to take on at Q4. And that's not to say they won't try, but it's better for them to do it now than to, just get in our way in Q3 and Q4. And that's what it is. Everything that eBay does, it's kind of getting in our way if it doesn't work out. And even some of the things that they do put into place don't really benefit sellers the way I guess they think it is, or they don't care, one of the two. So that's sort of a short soapbox version of my week, and really don't have a topic to cover other than just kind of what the headline says on the title, in that these are all obstacles and we can't let it get in our way. I mean, it's in our way, but he's got to have to find a way to navigate around it and power through. I see a lot of people, they're discouraged by a lot of the things they're seeing on eBay, and I get it. It's eBay isn't, the whole thing is eBay isn't getting better. It seems like eBay is getting worse, and they're between what they implement so they can do a little money grab here and there and take your money with promoted listings and all the ways that they find ways to generate revenue. And then the return on that we get for more fees is less. And so I get why people are frustrated with the site. I totally get it. But we still have an opportunity on this platform to make money. The buyers are still here. The sales are still out here. And you may not be getting a lot of sales right now, but that means you need to take action. Okay. Sales aren't as easy as they once were to come by. Okay. Things that were selling even a year ago really aren't selling at the same speed as they are now, or at all. And if you really want to make online selling work on eBay, you've got to just learn to adapt. And we talk about this seems like every time I get in front of the camera, but I still see the same people and or different people post the same comments and the same things. And then you look at stores, you see a lot of the same things. And I don't know if it's a comfort thing. You're in your comfort zone. This is what I do. This is my routine. But if it ain't working, it's time to try something else. And that's where I'll leave that. So, all right, we have Picky Ricky. He kind of checked in early. I don't know if he's going to be here with us for this program, but he did say, have a good one, resellers. High chances I won't be able to make tonight's live as I'm having to stall at a boot sale tomorrow to get rid of dead eBay stock, but bought 4 vintage radios today and love it. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. There we go. So Picky Ricky, if you're listening in and just can't chat, I get it, or you'll watch later. Thanks for at least checking in. We have Rosie Games says, Picky, we're going to miss you. And then, hey, John and Jenna, a little early today. Great work on those videos this week. You put a lot of effort and time into these, and we all appreciate it. Hope sales are keeping good for you. Yeah, I just guess there's some times where I'm more motivated to make videos, and there's other times it's like, where's the time in the day? You wake up in the morning and you get to work and you realize I need to put out a video, and then you drop everything and make a video. And some days you feel it and some days you don't, if you're being honest about it. Thankfully, more days I feel it. And some days I feel like, I wasn't even planning on making a video, but eBay tends to create content. And instead of writing it down, let's make a video later, it's like, let's do it now. And so I don't know how the weeks are going to be. I'm trying to get 2 videos out per week, but it very well may be that I put out more, and we're not having an earthquake. I just kicked the table.
And it wasn't me.
No. Rosie also says, just read your description, John. Seems like the glitches caused a slowdown for you this week. So sorry to hear one thing after another. It is. It's, that the returns, I made a return video yesterday, and I was surprised, if I'm being honest with you, the number of folks that said, you know what, it's just one return, give them their money back. It'll come back to you. And it's like, but I have another return I just received today. It was another seat, a very similar seat. They bought the wrong size. I guess it was just too small for them. And they opened a return. They followed the process. Now, of course, the dimensions of the chair are in the listing on that one too. So I guess they're in the same category as the other person. The only difference is they figured out the eBay label system to get a deal on a return label, and the other person just either was oblivious to it or didn't care or whatever. So in my mind, it's what separates the 2 returns. Really nothing. And if I'm feeling bad that they spent $61.20, I was having a conversation with Archie about this today. Well, I mean, they didn't send it to me. I didn't charge them $61.20. And this is a business. At the end of the day, we have to look at what we're doing as a business. 100% of the time, if I screw up, if I'm the reason for the return, if I did something to cause the buyer to need to send it back, I'm covering it 100%. That's the cost of doing business. And I don't bat an eye when I do that. But it's just, I get into this mode of, where's the line? Do I do it this time? Do I say, oh, wow, this story is even more compelling? Do I do it again? And do I do it again? And do I do it again? And it's like, again, we letting our feelings get in the way, and that's why I didn't give them their money back on the outbound label. That's the update for that. Just like I didn't give this gentleman his money back on the outbound shipping. As sellers, we do our part. We get the item in the mail on time. We deliver everything that we are expected to deliver, everything we advertise in the listing. And if it doesn't work out and it's at no fault of our own, there's no reason why we should eat that label. And that's just the way I feel. And, I guess it doesn't really matter how much the label is. It's just, that's the way I feel. I mean, even a $5 label, it's like $5 times, you do that 100 times in a year because you feel bad every time. And that's $500. So that's the way I look at it. Biscuit Butts in the house. Thanks for being here.
Show your hands.
Why did I show my hands? Why?
Because they say we're fighting over an arm.
No, actually, I flipped hers down so she can come in more, so she can scoot closer to me. This is all rudimentary, this whole setup that we have. At some point, we're going to make a more dedicated, I think, more comfortable version of this live, because we're sitting here for an hour and a half plus every time, and it gets kind of hard down the stretch. So, but we enjoy hanging with you guys, so it's worth it. Mark Suddick says, hi all, hope everyone had a great week of selling, had another awesome week, promoted and lowered shipping by $1.50 in all listings, but increased all item prices by $5. Good change. It worked. Yeah, little changes like that. Sometimes if a buyer is searching for your item based on price, even if you tweak it by a couple bucks, that'll place you higher in the search for lowest plus shipping. And it could make the difference between you being on page 2 and page 1. One thing that I wanted to talk about, and what Mark was hitting on here kind of reminded me, I sold 4 basketball cases behind me. I doubt it was a viewer. It could have been a viewer. I don't know, but they hit me up and said, what's the lowest you go on 4 cases? I said, well, throw me an offer. I'll see what I can do. Now, remember, these cases by themselves, these basketball cases are 13 by 13 by 13 and 5 pounds, little under 5 pounds. And, I didn't have a dedicated box that would really work well for 4 cases. And I'm trying to, wondering myself, what am I going to do here? Depending on what offer they shoot back at me. And they came back and said, can you do $60 for, I know they said $80 for 4 of them. That's $20 a piece shipped. And I said, well, where are you at? And they happened to be in Kansas City. And I said, and I plugged that all into my FedEx with the discount. And lo and behold, it was like $43. And so I'm like, no, I can't do that, because I guess after eBay fees, I'll make, like $8 on each case. But I'm not trying to make bare bones here with this stuff behind me. I'm starting to get traction now. And I ended up telling him it was going to be like $104 after, fees and everything, not fees, but shipping. And he's like, well, I can just buy it on eBay on your listing for $103. And I'm like, wait, how can you do that? So he went in and did it. And it turns out that it's eBay that will say, okay, I have a 13 by 13 by 13 box, but if I ship all 4 of them, it's going to be 26 by 26 by 13, because I'm going to stack them all together and bundle the four boxes together, because I just don't have a good box that's going to fit these 4. And the way he did it was, or eBay does it, is it still tries to fit 4 cases in that same 13 by 13 by 13 box, and simply adds the weight, which is a no-no, because when you're dealing with like FedEx, UPS, even USPS, the dimensions come into play as well. So, well, I took the sale, and I figure I'm going to make like $40 or $50 on the 4 cases. And that's fine. I mean, we're only into these cases for $1.50 a piece. I had to do something with the listing. So I ended up going back in, looking at some of the sold comps, and some of these sellers are selling like $57, $58 free shipping. So that's what I did. I set my prices up there, knowing that my markdown sale should take effect, kick that down by like $5 or $6 to make me the lowest price. And someone can utilize my 10% coupon on that. And I probably will never sell more than one at a time. If I do, that's fine. I can bundle them together, but I'm making at least 20 something bucks each on these cases. So yeah, it might mean that these cases are going to be a little slower to sell, but the fact that I've received a lot of traction the last week and a half, started moving these cases, I'm pretty confident that we'll get them sold. So long answer, but thanks, Mark, for reminding me of that situation.
Long answer.
But it wasn't really a long answer. It just reminded me. That took me down.
I was going to ask you,
took me
are you going to
took me down memory lane.
the viewers today? Or
I
are
always
you just
include
gonna,
the viewers.
You're just going to keep... Zip, zip, zip.
The show isn't called Viewing Ain't Easy here. They're watching me. Well, they're watching us.
They're not watching me do anything.
And I did hear another YouTuber say, yeah, there's a lot of these YouTubers, all they want to do is hear themselves talk. Well, I guess being that I'm reading comments and, talking to you guys, if there was dead air, I guess that wouldn't make a good live stream. So please forgive me. I'm doing the very, very best I can in these lives, I promise. But we have Leonard in the house. Thanks for being here. We have Ann Ferbraro. Says, Mark, do you mean you advertise the lower shipped, or do you mean you increase the promoted listing rate? I always read too much into everything. So I'm wondering, I think he did a little bit of both, if I'm not mistaken here. But I can tell you the number one thing, in my opinion, that you can do that is going to help you right away is increase your promoted rates. If that means you're going to bring your item price up higher, then that will, I think you're going to get better exposure in the best match search with a higher price and a higher promoted rate than a lower price and you're down with everyone else at 2%. So that's my 2 cents on that. Now, the dogs are going crazy because FedEx is here and we put the packages out in front of the door and the dogs are just like going crazy thinking someone's stealing our stuff. So they have now left. You might want to shut that front door though, because they're going to just keep barking at the wind. So, it's a very overcast day today. Haven't had to run the air. It's been rainy and overcast here in Vegas. So it's one of those days where after a lot of hot days, you just keep the screen door open. Had the garage door open working today. It was really nice, actually. But I think it's going to start heating up here pretty soon. We have Victor Wawiorka in the house. Hello, fellow FAE fam. Thanks for being here, Victor. And
I have no arm.
It's all right. You can have my rest. Leonard says, hi, Victor. Hi, Rosie. Thanks for being here. And then Sandra Hoyer. I know, I get it wrong every time. Hello, FAE family. It's Friday. We have that stranger. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. PTS Treasures. Hi, everyone. And then we have Biscuit Butt saying hi to everyone as well. Art Betzold. And guess who's in Lakeland, Florida with us today? Anybody want to guess?
Hawthorne.
That's right. Callie Debs is with us. And Keena. Hey, everybody. Steve Poste says, hello, Keena and rest of FAE family. And then Bill York is with us.
Bill.
Amazon seller. Brian H. And we have Joshua Bell.
Kelly Debs.
Who comments that he does the same to adjust the shipping price. He made 2 sales, maybe another just waiting on payment. And yes, promotions do help. I mostly do auctions. I still have some items that I would, if in my mind auctions work the way I think that they should, I would utilize auctions to move a lot of stock that's been sitting for a little bit. Even some of the liquidation stuff I picked up. I really just have this thing in the back of my mind. If the demand isn't there to buy at fixed price, well, unless they're really getting it dirt cheap, really, I don't know how the auction is going to benefit me. So many auctions I've utilized in the past year where, I didn't even get 99 cents. So that's kind of what keeps me away from the auction scene. Mark says, no, advertise just promoted listings and lowered shipping, but increased item prices. Yeah. You got to keep tweaking things though. I mean, yeah, you don't have to be the lowest person to sell your stuff, but what good is it if you're the lowest person on page 3 of a best match search? Unfortunately, eBay wants you to pay them in fees to be promoted. And if you're not willing to do that, then eBay's kind of saying, well, we're not going to, in the scheme of things against your competition, we're not going to rank you as high as you'd like. And really, that's what it is. You're up against competition. You're whoever is going to do better in eBay's eyes, whether it's with promoted listings, quality listings, number of photos, account health. That's what's going to cause eBay to rank those listings higher. And you just got to be willing to figure it all out and work on each and every one of those things. Kelly Clarkson's in the house. Hopefully she'll sing for us today. Happy early Father's Day. Question: are you the CEO of Prime Lister? No, I'm not. We do advertise for Prime Lister, but certainly not the CEO. No, not at all. Did you have an issue with it? Maybe I can point you in the right direction who you can contact, though. Let's see. Joshua says, love doing the best offers on my listings. They do work. If you're not using best offer and you're not getting sales, I mean, at this point, if you're not getting sales, at least to where you think you should be getting them, you should be turning every possible thing on. Best offers, coupons, markdown sales, anything you can to get someone compelled to look at your item. No Design says, hey, does anyone know where I can buy a transfer chair from the tub to the toilet? You know what? That isn't, I don't think we have one that goes from the tub to the toilet. It's either we'll transfer you
tub to the toilet.
We'll transfer you and drop you off in the tub, right? Or we'll transfer you and we'll allow you to slide over, and there's a little tab you can remove so you can do your business. One of the two. We don't have that other option yet.
We have many varieties.
Jackie says, my favorite Dr. Pepper. I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in months. We're talking months. I don't drink sodas anymore.
It's probably been close to a year that he has. Every once in a while, if we go out to dinner, I'll have a Dr. Pepper, but he won't touch them anymore. But every once in a while, I just need that taste again.
Yeah. And then when you finally do drink a soda after you haven't had one in a long time, it's too sweet. It's like, oh, I can't believe I was drinking this all this time. So it's like, I'm not even going to bother. Just give me water.
If I have a big juicy cheeseburger, I need a Dr. Pepper.
Let's see. TBO. Hi, everyone. Greetings from over the pond.
Over the pond.
Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I don't know which direction over the pond. Could be Australia or it could be UK. But nonetheless, thanks for being here.
We're happy to have
you. Gail Carlson says, hello, flipping family. Thanks for being here. Richard says, sales are a little slow this week. Just gave me more time to list. Yeah. I mean, look, it sucks you're not shipping. It's my least favorite thing to do in the business is to ship. But when you're not getting the sales, it kind of gets me fired up to get more stuff listed, right? Because it could be that maybe your store is picked through. Maybe the sales that you did make were your best stock, and it's time to get just as good stock back up. I'm kind of fired up because I picked up 2 carloads of stuff yesterday, and I've got some pretty good stuff just waiting for me. So
yeah, it's just waiting all over the garage.
It's not bad though. I mean, we organized it. It's ready to go. I mean, look, we're running out of. We're actually taking the space, our workspace, and it seems to be getting tighter and tighter every week. But you know what? It is what it is. We're just going to keep making it
organized until I go in and organize it.
And we'll let you believe that. Okay. So Janet's in the house. Says hi from Georgia. Thanks for being here. And then Joshua had 2 offers this morning. Yeah, I think things were fine today with me. And I don't know if there's a correlation between that whole markdown sale bug or glitch. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else even seen anything like that before, but that's why I had to do some screenshots because, it's like going out, you see Bigfoot finally, and no one's ever going to believe you unless you take some photos. But I guess with as much stuff that's been going on with eBay lately, it's certainly possible that I'm not the only one. Arena Vision, e-commerce, and a few other sources are writing articles that there was a huge bug in the AI chat GPT system that they launched. It failed, and now they're trying to regain control. I did see something like that on the e-commerce site. Something about how when they launched the AI extension for Android users on the phone app, that something happened. I'm not sure how to read into that. Are they saying that AI just kind of took over and started making changes or something, or what? I mean, that is the ultimate fear with AI, is that you give AI too much power, right? You allow it to gain more knowledge as it learns, then it figures out what's best for it and not what's best for the company or whatever that's utilizing it. And I don't know if that's necessarily what it is, but look, I understand, and I mentioned this before, eBay, for whatever reason, is trying to be like with the times, but yet their website isn't with the times. And so it's like, I don't know a good analogy to give you, and I'm not going to make a stupid one up, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's just like, why don't you fix? It's like you have that car. Here's one. You have that car that barely runs, right? Maybe you're lucky to get someone to jumpstart it every week to get you to work. But the time you get enough money to get it fixed, you go and you get a paint job or get it wrapped because your neighbor has a really cool looking car and a cool paint job, and you want the same thing too. And I think that's kind of what eBay's mentality is. We'll just get this thing wrapped, and if it breaks down again, we'll just have our neighbor give us a jump start. Unfortunately, I think that's kind of how they roll. So Biscuit Butt says, everyone hit the like button so John can sell a display case for each like. Yes. Well, yes. Don't do it for me. Hit the like button for you guys. If you hit that like button, you're going to, I don't know how it works, but you're going to get a sale in the next 24 hours. Can't promise you won't get a return, but you'll get a sale in the next 24 hours. And the one thing I didn't say, I didn't do my little usual spiel before we get started. So I'll just assume that you guys know that you run this chat. You make this live stream happen.
Well, yeah, I think they're well aware.
Please be sure to hit the like button no matter how you're watching this program. I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Ray Gardner says, I think I had the exact same glitch a couple days ago. I had two simultaneous sales going. Thought I'd messed up and just deleted the 0 sales one. I deleted both. I don't know. I just think that, you have two competing markdown sales. The one that says it's still running has no activity, even though you've made a sale or two over the last couple days. Yeah, it didn't look right. I just deleted it and said, let's do it again. No Designs, is it me? Does the plastic cases grew? Well, we've sold some. So
no, it's actually getting smaller, and I mean little by little. Okay, give us a little time.
Kelly says those display cases would be great for many different kinds of collectibles, even though they say football. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. I believe so. I don't know. People don't really tell me why they're buying them when they do. But as far as putting them in the title, or maybe I don't really have things to put in these cases, to be honest with you.
Well, plus they're all sealed, and we're not going to open them just to put something in it and take a picture.
Like open one, even if I had one that was not sealed that was open, and I guess you could make the argument, why not just open one? It doesn't cost you much. But I don't have the things to put inside these cases, like things that you could chalk it up to a lot of different things.
Find something, but
I haven't seen one listing from a competitor that have had anything but the intended item inside. Like the basketball one, there's a basketball, there's a soccer ball, it all kind of fits. But like GI Joes or stuff like that.
Those cards those old cards that people make.
Yeah, but I don't have any.
Well, neither do I.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go out and buy any for it.
Yeah, that's what you could use them for.
Yeah. Keena says hefty breeding ground back there for those plastics. Yeah, I would say give it a couple months, and most of these will be gone behind me. Victor says, I despise the markdown manager. The way that to set the time frame is super clumsy. Yeah, and then you change it, and then you go and set some new items in place, or change a rule that maybe I had my rule where it was at $98.99 as the maximum item to give the discount, because there are some items that I have over $100. I'm really not needing to utilize the markdown sale. And that's kind of what I have. And I went in and changed that. And I went back and the dates were all screwed up. So you had to change the dates again. So be careful with that. Biff Boffo says, I didn't have any sales promo glitches, but I don't think eBay advertises with the red letters, my volume discount in the scroll page. I do have volume discounts for the cases. I have one where the footballs were doing a set price plus $15. But I'm thinking just at this point, because I'm into them for so cheap anyway, let's just do what everyone else is doing and maybe be a little bit lower than them. Free shipping. I don't really love the idea of free shipping, but at the same time, it's just the case, right? As long as it doesn't show up busted, not many people are going to return a case. It's, maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's probably going to be few and far between. Dan says, doesn't work or defective count as a seller defect? Not necessarily as a seller defect. A seller defect is one where you let return requests time out. You allow eBay to step in and handle something that they expect you to step in. That's actually a seller defect. Now, if you're talking about a return that accounts against your return ratio to determine if you're too high on your returns, then yes, that would count just the same as an item not as described. When you get a return, let's say you get one of those returns and you keep the shipping, the original shipping, and then it says, okay, well, we're going to hold this as an open case for 10 business days to give the buyer a chance to respond. Then yes, that would count against you. Those are the returns that count against your return ratio. Like the ones that I had, the item doesn't fit. Immediately I refunded without the original shipping, and guess what? It closed the case in both cases. So that should kind of tell you what eBay is looking for. I guess if you get a return like that, they want you to return everything back to the buyer. Biscuitbut's wondering where Roman is. It must be on Russian time. And then No One Design says Roman must be putting his pants on. Lawrence says, is it true that you cannot give a negative to a buyer? If so, why are they even given feedback? So that went away a long time ago. You cannot give a negative to a buyer. Now, talking to Archie, he's like, yeah, but I'm still going to give the false positive. I said, well, be careful, because there's actually something written in eBay policy now that says if you do it and you're caught doing it, they can go through the whole gamut of things against the seller. Or it didn't even say the seller. It's just any user that gives false feedback. But we all know that if a buyer does it, they're given 20,000 opportunities to correct the behavior. Sellers have a very short leash, unfortunately. Steve says, does John have pants on? I hope so. I do not. I do not have pants on. You guys caught me. I do not have pants on. I have shorts on. So there's a difference there. A little too warm for pants. Biscuit Butt says John is commando. No, not commando, sir.
No.
ATL Flipper says, hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for being here. Love seeing new folks drop in. So thanks for being here. Keena says, tell John to please stand up. What? I have black shorts on, okay, with pockets. No chonies.
Everybody's wondering where our hands are.
No.
What bottoms we have on.
No chonies.
Mine don't match.
No chonies that I own
but
have
I have
pockets.
some on.
But they should maybe consider that. If you do go commando, why don't they give, well, commando, you wouldn't have anything. But if you do wear just your chonies, right, why don't they just add some pockets in there if that's kind of how you roll? I mean, wouldn't you want to have somewhere to put some stuff, even if that's all you wear? Stupid thought of the day. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Carol C says, watching you on the big screen TV tonight.
Oh, my.
Just wanted to say hi. Wow. Well, hopefully we're
hello, Carol.
Hopefully, Carol, you have us in 720 and not in 4K, because that's not a good look. Perfectly Blessed says, Roman is taking a nap. He has worked hard today. He must have listed 2 items today, and that's good for Roman.
Poor Roman.
When Design says, hey, John, I've ordered my poly bags on
Gyro.
Gyro. Yes, Gyro Pack. They are a new sponsor to the channel. Been in contact with them. James is the guy I've been talking to this whole time, and he's been really great. And we're going to be talking about them more on a future live, not as an infomercial or anything, but they are kind enough. They're going to be sending over some stuff that we're going to be giving away a little bit of their merchandise when we have the 20K celebration. And the last time I checked, I think we were at 19,842. So, if you guys aren't subscribed, please do me a favor, help us get to that 20K mark and consider subscribing to the channel. It's a goal that I have. I mean, we were actually making a lot of momentum last month, and I thought we would actually be hitting it about this time, mid-month, but we're still not there yet. So please, if you enjoy the content, you don't mind watching a video or two of mine here and there, hit that subscribe button, and I'd certainly appreciate you. Let's see. Victor Wawiorka says, sent offers has been almost all of my sales.
Mine, I can't get people to pay.
Yeah, we do have some that even with the sales that I've been doing during the week, I'm waiting for like 3 or 4 people. Biscuit Bus says, everyone go to sub to the ATL Flipper. Derek and Jasmine are awesome. So yes, cool. Go and like supporting channels too. So, but you can't do it yet until after the live stream. Once we're done here, go and hit them up and just watch their material. I don't know. And subscribe. My thing has always been, look, check out the channel that you're checking out, right? If you feel like you can glean information, you feel like they're not trying to sell you after like the 3rd minute, sell you on like some service they're offering. If they provide you some content or just are entertaining to you, why wouldn't you want to watch them again? So go check them out when you get a chance. No One Designed 2 says, hey, Jenna, nice new chair. How much did that set John back? What did he do for him to buy that for you?
Actually, he didn't pay anything for this.
Yes, I did.
Okay, you paid what? 12?
I think it was $12.
$12.
Yes, I paid $12. And guess what? It's a good chair, isn't it?
It's a good
Doesn't
chair.
Squeak. That's a bad thing to what is a bad my mind's gone blank. It's a bad way. Wow, I was right. I need some more Mio. But to measure the quality of a chair, to say whether it squeaks or not.
This one has all the screws. I don't feel like I'm gonna fall out of it.
Yeah.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And that was a chair that she was using all this time.
I had it at my desk.
And she took the chair that we replaced and used it for in here.
I flung that thing into the large item pickup pile.
I get stuff really cheap, guys. I mean, $12 for this is a $200 chair on Amazon, and I get some good deals. But I tend to pass those on to eBay buyers. Biscuit Butt says, I heard John threw a display case at Jenna earlier because she was vacuuming while I was on the phone with him. No.
He would never throw his own product for one, and he would never throw anything at me.
I don't do that to anyone. Now, maybe Archie?
Archie
I might
is
do
a
that.
different story.
No, she wasn't vacuuming. We had this robot vacuum. And you owe me a Coke, by the way.
You don't drink Coke.
I know. But when I start, you owe me a Coke. And we have a robot vacuum, and we bought it around Christmas time for like $100, one of those super deals, and it works well, but it is too ambitious. It likes to find where you're at, and it likes to vacuum around you like it's trying to impress you. And then when I'm in here listening, I'm like, okay, it can roll around me a little bit, but when it starts rolling over my toes, it's time to hit the button to tell it to go back to its base, right? And so I was talking to Archie. I had my office door shut, and Jenna comes in here like, why do you got the door shut? I'm like, because that stupid robot. I don't want him to bother me. So that's kind of where that went. And Archie,
because he doesn't ever shut his door unless he's doing a video.
Yeah.
And I knew he wasn't doing a video, so I'm like, why is the door shut? Because it gets really hot in here.
Yeah.
I don't. That last thing I need is to walk in and he's keeled over.
Yeah. Let's see. Lisa's in the house. Hi guys, thanks for being here.
Hi.
And let's see. Keena says, "Let's see those hands." What? We're not fighting at all.
Already
Okay,
did it.
we're just doing this.
It.
If that makes you feel better,
you're only at 311.
That's fine. We got plenty of time.
Now.
That's fine.
Let's
you guys know this is how I roll.
Let's go.
We have Ashley Sims in the house.
Ashley.
Keena's making some funny faces, and Lisa says if the customer drove to the store and returned, it would cost a fee to them in time and gas. Yeah, true. Let's see. Biff Boffo says if a buyer can't navigate the return process, that's their own fault. No debate. The best you can do is try to walk them through the process before they screw the pooch on full return label.
Yeah.
But if a buyer opens a return, they give a one-liner. They say something to the effect of "it doesn't fit," right? And that's it. That's the reason they select it, and that's what it doesn't fit our bathroom. They don't reach out. I'm not going to bother corresponding with that person unless they have a question. I'm not going to go in and be that guy. Maybe they know. Maybe circumstances were, I don't know, maybe they had a computer glitch. Who knows? They had 112 feedback, so I'm inclined to think they know a little bit about eBay. But I'm not going to make it my problem. I'm just going to move on and handle the return like I would every time. Side Hustle Sam says, hello. What do you think about having higher promoted listings? I think it's the way to go. You got to look at it in from like, what does eBay want you to do? And I think some people could care less what eBay wants them to do. But if we're playing their game, if we're in their sandbox, we're trying to play the game by their rules. What does eBay want us to do? If they have their way about it, we will all be promoting at 100%, and we would be making nothing. Okay. The fact that eBay has an option for you to promote at 100% is just ridiculous. I think that eBay should have something like a cap, like 20%, if that. But what does eBay want you to do? They want you to go as high up that totem pole as possible, because that means more money is in their pocket. And in return, they're going to do you a solid and give your item more exposure. They're not going to guarantee you a sale, because if you're selling that pig, and you can put as much lipstick on the pig as you want by promoting it, but it's still a pig.
I need to go wrangle these dogs.
And yeah, we got a bunch of ornery dogs right now. You might see them in my store here very soon. That's a joke.
Come on, I can't.
Okay. Let's see. Biscuit Butt says, before you know it, it'll be a little storage unit flipper like Dad. I don't know what that means. Ashley Sim says, I'm an everything store. Jewelry is my slowest seller. Got a whatnot and did first sale to clear out inventory that's been sitting. Small items went well. Only will utilize to clear out old stuff. I'm not sold on whatnot. I just am not. Now, of course, if you're trying to clear out stuff and are willing to take $1 or $2 for some items, maybe taking a chance to get more on some others, then I know that some people, that's their business model. They'll go out and buy stuff. Let's say they're into it for $100 for the whole lot, and they'll flip it for $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, which is cool. But had they listed that stuff on eBay, they might have had triple that. So for me, it's not currently in the cards, but as long as you can make it work for you, then continue doing what you're doing. Duncan VR says, hi all, I'm in my new unit, new office set up and ready to go. I have time away on. How long before eBay picks up again after ending time away? I mean, I've seen where the one time I even ever tried it, it didn't take but a day or so. But I learned that, I didn't even want that day. I would rather just have it set for like a 5-day handling. I'm still getting the sales, right? And then have the clock tick down, change it to 4, 3, 2, 1. And I do same day returns so that by the time I get back, I'm back to 0. That makes sense. Jovial Juggler says, hey, FAE fam, happy fresh veggie day. Wait, what? Forget that. Happy National Fudge Day.
Oh,
which one is it?
Well, for me, it'd be veggies. For you, it'd be fudge.
No. I might have me that salad tonight. That's actually sounding good again. I'm getting this like mood for it to eat salad
because it's lately. So hot.
I know.
We had sandwiches last night. Yeah, that was good.
It was all right.
Mine was really good.
Mine wasn't. Mine was salty.
I need this.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't.
Go ahead. The Flippin' Sports guys here. Thanks for being here. Victor says eBay's calculator is garbage. You're right. Multiple items don't increase the dimensions, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
they've been doing that for years, though. We've caught them doing it back when we lived at the other house.
Yeah. Bottom line is, it's not a good combination. If you're offering multi-quantity listings and you're charging shipping, it's not going to work well when you sell multiple items.
Yeah.
Because of that reason. I guess I could get all 4 of the cases in the same box, but it may not show up as a box. It might just be showing up as pieces of plastic, and I think that's not going to go well. So I went in and changed that listing, and we'll see what happens with it. Biff says, I think you need to set up a shipping policy for each of your display cases. I think there would be some good volume opportunities. Now, I do have the volume set up where it defaults at like you sell more than one, it's 10% off. You sell 2 or more, or it's 15% off, or 3 or more, it's like 20%. So
yeah, but that's not off shipping. He's talking about shipping policy.
You could do that as well, but and in fact, I have that as in the football one. I have $15 flat, and then every one after that is $10. Because again, eBay, I know eBay is going to continue using the same dimensions. Well, there's a flat rates, but you got to figure out how much is that 26 by 26 by 13 box going to cost, and just to ship it halfway across the country for what, 16, 17 pounds was going to be $42. No, that doesn't work. So I'd still lose in that deal. Let's see, who else do we have here? Trying to get to some new names here with us in the chat. Let's see. Michael Norton says, you didn't do garage sales today. I know that there's a lot of garage sales that start early on Fridays. The majority start on Saturday.
Usually we're not ever successful on a Friday. It's usually Saturdays.
I'm going to get out to a yard sale. I just don't know. I mean, look, if you're doing well with the stuff that you're getting, let's say in this case, I'm doing liquidation. I do enjoy yard sales, but I enjoy being able to put my stuff away when I get home. I don't have really any room out there. So as I'm listing this stuff, getting stuff sold, I'm replacing the stuff that I sell with the stuff that I'm listing. The stuff that I'm listing, I'm replenishing like on a weekly basis. And that process is working well for me. I find that the return on a lot of the stuff I buy at yard sales, for me at least, hasn't been as good as the stuff that I'm picking up right now. So I want to focus on
you guys would be so proud of me. I got through 3 totes of shoes so far.
Yeah, we're out of shoes, except did we get rid of the
I think we have
single
one.
Shoes?
Yes, those went out because the single, obviously the lady never got back to us from that big yard sale thing. And so after months and months of trying to reach out to her, that ship has sailed. So finally on Thursday, I put all of the single shoes out to pasture.
The opportunity that I saw here back in October when we first went to that yard sale and bought the shoes that we bought, and then like she's got a full garage full of stuff, it seemed a lot more promising than it does today. And it isn't like she has different, I'm sure she's still got that garage full of stuff. But when your sourcing is in a place where you're just fine with it, it makes your other sourcing methods like yard sales and stuff, it kind of diminishes the importance of doing that, if it makes sense. I mean, I don't really want to return to 2022. I want to focus on what's working for me in 2023. And while yard sales are fun, and I'm still going to go to yard sales, I'm just not going to make that the main way I source, because it didn't work in 2020. Even with that one sale that I made for $1,800. Bought the item for $70. I mean, those are awesome opportunities, but I realize those are few and far between. Most of the time, you're going to find your basic bread and butter. I'm going to buy it for $2, flip it for 15 to 20. And for me, I'm focusing on getting 25 to 30 to 50 to 80 to 100 to $200 ASP items. And that's been really working well for us. Biff says, I don't think my category benefits from promoting, but I tried promoting 5% of items at 2%. I will watch these items for a couple weeks. So far, they don't stand out statistically. Okay. Well, curious to know how that works out for you. Jerry Johnson says, I got my first sale via promoted listing that I promoted several months ago. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's good that you got the sale. I mean, but chances are, if you didn't promote it, I'm wondering if it would still be sitting there. So, at least you found a way to get it moved. I'd rather spend a few extra bucks on a eBay final value fee, or in this case, promoted listing fees, than to sit around saying, hey, when is this thing going to sell? And then you're trying to move, like if you have limited space like we do, trying to make things fit into racks that they don't fit in because you just decided you're trying to save money on final value fees and not sell a lot of your stuff. I'm a firm believer that if you change your promoted listing rates, as much as a lot of people hate to do it, it's going to help you make more sales. Thrift and Flip says, I had a $1,000 sale yesterday, then buyer canceled because they found a better price, but I denied that MF. See what happening on my latest YouTube video. Shameless plug. Sorry, hope you didn't mind. No, we don't mind plugs.
Thrift
it happens.
Flip?
Thrift and Flip. Moon Mug says, hello from UK. About your polymailer video. I use polymailers for coffee mugs. I use shredded cardboard. Saves money on bubble wrap.
Shredded cardboard?
Well, I guess you can throw it through your shredder, your paper shredder, that type of thing. But
yeah, but ours would die.
My thing is,
that's a really good idea, though. If you, how do you do it? Moon Mugs, let me know.
Well, here's the thing. You ever receive that box that has shredded paper in it to cushion whatever's inside? That drives me absolutely nuts as a buyer. And I'm trying to fish out the item and all the papers stuck to this and that. And it may have protected the item, but it's not, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not a good look. As far as I'm concerned, I've never liked that. And there's been times I've been very tempted to go and take my shredder, take a bunch of old, like, envelopes and things sitting around, like old mail, and throwing it through the shredder and then dumping it in a box, right? Rather than using another means of kind of filling the box up. But I always remember how, as a buyer, I see that and I'm like, no, kind of like using packing peanuts, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kelly says, I tried Prime Lister and kept getting emails from the owner. I know your name is very common and thought it could be a coincidence. Well, that's interesting. Curious what emails you're getting, because you shouldn't get anything like that. Very, very strange.
Yeah.
Victor says 10 years off soda. Awesome. Well, congratulations. I don't miss it. It's just one of those things you kind of just forget about and move on. Dean Funderburg says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here, Dean.
Hello.
Ping G says, coffee mugs in the polymailer. Oh my, I use a box when I ship coffee mugs. Yeah, unless you're really bubbling the heck out of that coffee mug. I mean, if you bubble something enough, you can kind of bounce it off the ground like a basketball and nothing's going to break. But
yeah, the ones from Gyro, the bubble mailers, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love them. I love them.
So we had to redo a item the other day because she put a 2-pound. I guess it was like
he wants to throw me under a bus.
No, we're all learning together here. I share my mistakes. It's time that we share yours sometimes. It was a sheet set. Okay, so it was like one of those queen sheet sets. It was like almost 2 pounds. She's bubble mailer happy. She throws that thing in the bubble mailer, and I'm taking the stuff, and I'm like, I always weigh it. I'm like, what are we doing here? This thing's coming up. eBay wants to charge me 12 something for priority mail, and like the same for UPS. And it's like, okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to make this work. And all I had to do is take it out, fold it, put it in a bubble mailer, USPS priority, flat rate envelope. And it was $8.30. And so I don't know what it is. That should be the first thing that you should, my tip to you guys, if you have an item that can fit in the USPS priority mail bubble flat rate envelope, it's $8.30. Make that work before you go to any other type of bubble mailer or poly mailer. Make that work. It's going to save you money. Well, now I caveat, as long as it's at least over a pound. If it's under a pound, then use your standard poly mailer and or bubble mailer and utilize the first class rates that we still have right now. Jeff Zennick says, greetings, John and Jenna and folks. Yes, hello. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
Fireball Flippers.
Fireball Flippers. Hey.
I love that name.
Yeah. Billy Goat Gruff says, "Hey guys, when should we purchase a basic eBay store? Thanks." I would say, look, I think the basic one is like $5 or $6 a month if you promise to, keep the store for a year, that type of thing. Rather than that, you pay like $10 or whatever if you're just doing it month to month. But in my opinion, I would say if you had at least say 100 items in your I can't say store because you don't have a store yet, but in your account, if you have 100 items up for sale, I would say that's a good time to get move into a store, mainly because you have additional things that you can then add to your listings. Coupons, which I'm a big believer of, public coupons, and of course the markdown sale. That's something that I think every seller should at least be using in some way, shape, or form. Biff says the AI bug was probably poor coding. Our robot lords haven't gained their full power yet. We have Mary Knight in the house. Thanks for being here, Mary. These dogs are just on one today. I don't know what to say. I think this is National Stop Your Dog from Barking Day. Let's see.
Jovial Juggler's here.
Dean says, Jenna, the 1 to 25 scale models in the case.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Let's see. Biscuit Butt says you can use those cases to put food in to send food to you in the tub from the toilet. I was wondering where Roman was. I think he actually hijacked Archie's.
He's here. You're just way behind.
Biff says if you photograph on display case with a football in it, no matter how many disclaimers you make, some buyer will ultimately say, "Hey, where is the football?" I had done that with the one with the Mike. I did my Mike Trout signed autograph ball and one of the baseball ones. And I put a disclaimer in there. I said, this does not include the Mike Trout autograph ball. Instead, you'd want to put your own special ball in the case. But it's sad that you have to say that. But yeah, there are some buyers out there who will open a return saying items not as described. Mark says, funny, I had a listing up for 2 years, didn't sell, $2 cost of item, was listed for $10 plus $15 shipping. I relisted it 6 months ago for $30 and $50 just to park the listing. Sold last night.
Wow.
I think that if you have some items priced too low, I think there's a certain segment of buyers who will think there's something wrong. That doesn't seem like, while they want a deal, they're in the back of their mind is, why is it so low? Why is it so cheap? The Sultan of Salt and Pepper. I'm having a great day. I do not have to pack anything because I have 0 sales. Well, that stinks. But here's the thing. You're going to have a few more days of not packing anything. Get your items listed. And that way, when it's time to get those things shipped, that's the worst, I think, part of reselling, in my opinion, is the shipping. But at the end of the day, that's how you get paid.
To murder.
You want to put them in their cages or out in the backyard? Because I'm not going to listen to an hour of these dogs yapping in my ear. Sorry, guys. Normally these guys are quiet as can be, but I swear that some days they try to audition to be Chihuahuas, and that's just not going to work today. We have Roman with his new logo, Good Wind. What does that say? Good Weed? Oh, wow. Really, Roman? Archie finally realized that selling on eBay is more important than being a YouTube superstar. That's funny. That's really funny. Walk the Earth Dead says, I have a customer who brought 2 items and left a positive and a neutral for the 2 items, but said they were happy. eBay does my head in sometimes. Yeah, you know what? I don't even pay attention to neutrals anymore. It's not even worth the effort to get them removed because it's really not a negative. It doesn't hurt your account. Maybe just throw a nice little reply in there. You enjoyed or were satisfied with the other item you bought. Not quite sure why you left a neutral, but have a great day. Something like that. At least it'll tell your potential buyer who looks at your feedback, and they do, that you're professional. Dixie Flipper says, hi, John and Jenna, having okay sale all week, but have been listing like crazy. But I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think that if you have decent sales, I think there's a reason. I think whenever you stop listing and you kind of get away from eBay for a little while, for the most part, your sales kind of die off. I think it's usually after the first day. It's funny, you don't do any listing. The next day you have great sales. It's kind of like eBay's way of saying, hello, I'm still here. And then you're still not really listing. It just kind of dies down. ATL Flippers, where do you get your glow sign behind you at? Jenna bought that for me a couple years ago on Etsy. So just check out Etsy. It's like $300 or $400. You might be able to find, if depending on what you're looking for. If you have some stuff like on Amazon, might have some pre-made ones. But if you're looking for one for your channel or a specific phrase, you're going to need to get that customized. Come on. Mark says, we know who the boss is. Jenna wears the pants in the family. LOL. Well, what do you think of that?
It depends on what it is for.
Yeah, depends on what it's for. Mad Hatter's Boutique says, what is the cheapest way you have shipped an item under £1 to Canada? I have USPS first class and some buyers want cheaper shipping. Always runs $21 plus minimum to cheap anything to Canada. Check out, now it's a good idea to have your account linked, set up through Pirate Ship. So you have your Pirate Ship account linked to your eBay account. And once you do that, it'll pick up your address and it'll say, okay, Canada, I think their international rate shipping is usually about $14, if I'm not mistaken. You said it's under £1, so that sounds about right. So go on to Pirate Ship and just plug in that address, plug in the old address and dimensions of the item and see what it comes up for you. But last time I did it was about a week ago and it was $14. Kelly says, we ladies are notorious for storing things in our bras, but I don't encourage the men to utilize their undergarments similarly. So no pockets, huh? Well, what about that? Okay, women store stuff in their bras, right? Why not have a bra that has like a little inner pocket?
I think they have those.
Do they? Okay, well, that just shows you.
It's just easier just to.
Let's see. Susan K says, hi from hot and steamy Arkansas.
Ooh.
So yeah, a lot of humidity. That southern humidity. Yeah. The left wing says, can you tell me why eBay would say your item will sell after a bid is placed, but prior to the time a buyer can retract the bid and then it won't sell? Well, it's hard to say. I think the fact that there's a bid, it might turn people off thinking, well, I wanted it at 99 cents. I can't get it, so I'm going to move on. But that in itself is why I don't do auctions. And you have to have a really in demand item for those to sell. Like, for instance, you guys watch Pete's video that he put out. He was talking about the online trolls and stuff, but he was talking about he auctioned all those video games that were the new video games the new old stock video games. And a lot of those games he sold were like less than $10. And you'd think that they'd sell. I'm willing to bet if you put those individually up on, fixed price listings, that he probably would have got more money. He did get like $1,100 for a Superman game, but you just really don't know. It really depends on the demand, and you're trying to, of all the people that are looking at your item, I mean, of all the people in the world that would want that item, it has to be the ones that are actually on eBay at that time. And if they're not there, or it's not important enough for them to come back when your item's ending, then you're not going to get that traffic. That's why I think fixed price listings are always the way to go, unless you just can't find a comp for it. Eric's in the house. He's late, but you're here. So thanks for being here. Defender of eBay is here. Awesome. Thanks with the 8 eyes looking at something. And the Mikey Bo 2014, love the channel. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. This channel ain't squat without you guys, so I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see.
$12 doesn't even buy Sizzler salad bar.
It doesn't?
I mean, we haven't been to a Sizzler in so many years.
But I'm going to get back to one.
I swear, because we're going to be going to California soon, he's going to be like, I got a Sizzler.
So checking the balances, I check, of course, my accounts every so often. I'm like, this isn't right. I got more money here than I was supposed to have. It wasn't a whole lot more, but I'm like looking, I'm like, wait, I just got a $600 bonus from my bank. And I happen to bank with US Bank, and I signed up with them, and they had this promotion. If you get like $20,000 in deposits in the first 2 or 3 months, we'll send you $600. So I'm like, well, that's cool. It was saying really employer deposits. So I'm like, well, might as well give it a try. And I even talked to a representative. They're like, no, that doesn't count from like eBay. It has to be your direct deposit from your employer. And I wasn't even counting on it. And boom, it hit my account yesterday. I'm like, score. So nothing like free money. But if you're, and this is kind of a side little thing, I don't know where this came from, but if you're in the market to find a new like checking account, or you want maybe one dedicated for your business, check into ones that give you some kind of sign up bonus for having a certain volume of deposits in your account over a period of time. And so it's always nice to get free money for just getting money sent, the money you earn on eBay. Let's see. Mary Knight says, a question for any shoe resellers. I have some Levi sneakers that I'm going to flip and sell. However, the white shoelaces are in bad S.
Shape.
Yeah. So we get it. Bad S. You can just put your S word in there, but you can do one of two things. You can take take your whites and put your laces in there, and put your bleach in your laundry, and see if they'll come out that way. Or you can go like to Amazon and pick up like a $3 or $4 pair, and if they're that bad,
we need to buy the ones that are in our Amazon cart.
Yeah, we have some shoes that have no laces that would have decent value if they have laces. Yeah. So we're gonna go into Amazon and just buy the new laces and be done with them. Jay Scott says, I had a buyer ask if I could take a bunch of pictures of myself in some Levi's red tab shorts.
Wow.
I would respond, you really don't want to see me in these shorts, sir or ma'am, whatever. You just don't. Let's see. Jay Scott, get a good following and you could sell a small Nike t-shirt for $800. Well, maybe that's the business model for some. Mary Knight says, question for shoe resellers. I have from Levi sneakers going to be selling. I think you asked that. Purchase new ones on that one. I think that's the easier way to go if you can. Let's see. We have 138 people right now watching, so please hit the like button, guys. I'd certainly appreciate it. It does help the channel. It gets it out there to YouTube, that to maybe other resellers. And I'm seeing a lot of new names, so it's really cool. Depop is clothing. Poshmark is now UK Vinted. Really? Vinted? That's interesting. Jay Scott says, how can a small seller compete with the big sellers and promote listings at suggested rates? Just not feasible for most. That's the challenge.
That's why it's so important to buy low.
Right. But that's the challenge. I think it's a challenge that we had last year. We gravitated away from the liquidation game because it wasn't, we weren't able to find a lot of good stuff in these pallets. So we moved away from pallets, started moving over to yard sales. And while you're able to find good deals, like, okay, $2 to turn into 20, 30, $40. A lot of people know what the value of the stuff that they're selling is. So they're not going to give it up for $2 unless their motivation is, look, I'm just trying to move from this stuff. It's just hard to really find good deals. And that's why, like someone like Art of Resale, you watch his videos and you see how he works. If you pay attention,
so funny.
If you pay attention to what he's doing, here's what he does. He could go up and say, what do you want for this item? What do you want for this item? How much for that item? How much for this item? He'll go in and probably ask, like, what do you want for this? What are you asking for this the first time? Just to get an idea. So if the person has reasonable prices, now he sees a lot of things and he'll tell them, hey, I see a lot of things that I want to get. Can I make a pile, right? Can I put these aside? Is there somewhere I can put these? Okay, so he'll go through and he'll just start, boom, go through the shirts, go through the sweaters, go through the shoes, go through the hats, go through all those other things, and he'll just make a big bundle. So now, do you think that seller is going to go, okay, you got one shirt, two shirt, three shirt, he's going to say, how much for the whole lot? Now, when you say that, you're kind of expecting the seller to give you a deal. Most sellers are going to be like, you know what? Give me $40 for all of it. Now, had you have gone up and said, how much for this? How much for that? Now the prices are in that person's head. And now, even if you try to get it bundled, they're going to be like, well, I told you $5 for this. I'll give it to you for $4. And I told you 10 for that. I'll do 5. Now you're out the door at $80. So what he does is genius. And what it does is it allows him to get a lot of merchandise at a very low buy cost. When he brings it home, he's like, wow, I'm into all this stuff for less than $1 a piece. And it's unheard of to go up to someone who's at a yard sale. Would you take $1 for this? They're probably going to say no. But the fact that you're buying a lot of things and helping them move that stuff, they're going to be more motivated to give you a deal. And so that's just check out watch what he does. Almost every yard sale or flea market he goes to, he builds a pile. And that is the way to do it. Now, people might say you're ripping that person off. You know what? If the person is the one that gives you if they come back and say, look, 50, and you say, oh, well, what about 40? They can always say no. And if they say no, you just take the 50 and run. If they say 40, you made even, you're making your money when you're buying your items. That's where you make the money. Yeah, you got to do the groundwork when you get home, and you got to list it. You got to do the cleaning. You got to be a private investigator and investigate what you actually have. But at the end of the day, you can't make the money with good profit margins if you're paying too much. And I think that's a big problem. A lot of people don't want to get in there and haggle, and you're leaving a lot of money on the table when you're doing that. Rebecca Mitchell says, which one is better ad? Probably ad rate for promoted listings.
Go down. She
okay.
Continues.
Which one is better, dynamic rate or fixed rate? I think you're talking about promoted listings. I think the dynamic rate is like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like, okay, the suggested is, whatever the amount that's suggested is for a category. Are you going to set like 1% higher than the rate that is requested by or suggested by eBay? Versus I'm going to do 5% across the board. I don't care what eBay recommends, 5%. I would settle on the fixed rate, like maybe doing something above 2%, like a fixed rate for your entire, even if eBay is asking you for 10%. I don't really do that. I go in and as I'm listing it, I'll just take the suggested rate. So as long as it doesn't exceed 10%, that's just the way I work. Andrew says, my non-promoted items sell faster and a lot more often. I've noticed 75% of my promoted only get 1 to 10 views.
I think you meant
non-promoted. But see, that's just it. There's some items on eBay you don't need to promote. Items that are one of a kind, items that don't have a lot of competition. You got to look at it as you're trying to set your item ahead of the competition. Okay, so between your photos, between your price, between the quality of listing, between having a good account health, you're top rated, the person you're competing against maybe are just above standard or worse. Those are all factors that are going to help you in a best match search. Now, on that right there, you can make the sale on against your competition, provided that your listing is better than your competition's listing. How do you get your items on page 1? Okay, so once you do that, how do you get your items as high up on page 1 as possible? So you might make all these changes and yet not promote, and then finally promote, and that might be what gets you up higher in search. So it's just a lot of tweaking, trial and error. And, if what you're selling doesn't need promoted, then that's more money in your pocket. The Mikey Bo says, I tried using the shredded cardboard. It weighs a lot, and I found that it looks unprofessional. Yeah, that's kind of the way. I just don't like it. It gets all over the place. And then you unpack your box, and now I gotta vacuum. I just think that kind of turns people off of the packing material. Too Tall says, has anyone else received this warning on the eBay app under payments? Please upgrade your eBay app to better manage your funds and payment options, or use your browser to complete this action. Interesting. So it sounds like maybe you have an older version of the app and it wants you to, because sometimes they fix like vulnerabilities in the app, like maybe bugs that could be an issue. And by maybe that, I've never seen that message before, but I think I have mine on auto update.
Yeah.
Keena says, I signed up for Prime Lister through your link, and I also was getting daily emails from John Miller. I thought it was you guys.
Yeah, wrong spelling, though.
Interesting. I've got to check that out.
Ron, yeah, John is short for Jonathan.
Yeah.
So it's Jon.
Yeah. Maybe it's my dad. He's not with us anymore.
He's not. That would freak me
yeah.
out.
Jay Scott says, I like when I list like crazy and get less sales and stop listing and get sales. Seems to be the eBay way. Yeah. I agree. Let's see here. Trying to get caught up. Insights. So congratulations on your imminent 20K subscribers. When choosing to keep selling while on time away, why does eBay not allow sellers to send or accept offers without also delaying shipping time? That's a good question. I don't recall when last time I used the option of send time away. I don't think I was taking offers. That's why I just have my store open. I'm daily doing like a bulk change, so it makes eBay see the activity, because let's say I'm going to be gone for 4 or 5 days. I have it set for 5-day handling. So tomorrow I will go back in and do a bulk edit to change all my shipping policies to 4-day, 3-day, 2-day, 1-day, and I can accept offers, and the offers accepted under those terms, and it's not a problem. So I personally, yeah, you got to be in the app, maybe, you know, well, you got to do the bulk edit like on your browser, you're not in the app itself. So like on your iPad or your laptop. So you're spending 10 to 15 minutes out of your day to keep your store open, to make money. And it just, for me, it just works. Sylvia Hunt says, hi guys, happy night. Thanks for being here, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
PJ's Ecom 2050. Hi guys, thanks for being here, PJ. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
No, I'm just saying. That sounds like a really long time.
Jay Scott says in all caps, eBay rep told me, don't worry, man. You're going to have a good month. What a joke they are. Maybe they made it, they meant that sarcastically.
Yeah.
Here's Tommy. Thanks for waking up and joining us on the live. If they gave me a neutral for no reason, I send Roman to test what their car does in neutral while sleeping. Bill York says, if you use a shredder for packaging material, you will save money. The shredded paper does not stick to the item because you would always put the item in a plastic bag. You'd think, but some people don't. And then when you're taking it out, it's all over the floor. And that's kind of maybe just me being just messy, but it gets on the floor and it's not good. Noah Designs says, Jenna, did John store the basketball hoop on the top shelf again? So let me know, and I'll buy that and open a 9 ad saying, stop putting that thing on the top shelf.
You know, I didn't deal with the basketball hoop this time.
That didn't sell. That didn't sell yet.
No,
it hasn't sold. So you're welcome to buy it.
But he did. What were you? You said you were having to redo the box.
Well, I did that in the video. I actually made a video where I had to reconstruct the box that they left for me. That it was designed for the basketball hoop, but it was just all beat to crap. So I had to do some surgery, and I did it on camera.
I do that on a daily basis.
But yeah, you want to buy the basketball hoop, and then you open a 9 ad, and then I'll use the refund tool. We'll try that and see how that works out for you. Let's see. Jay Scott says, amazes me sellers are not getting more sales the way eBay pushes these items. I think eBay is causing a lot of confusion. I think they're putting other, okay, they click on your item, right? So they see the price, they see your photos, and now, okay, this could be what I'm looking for. They start scrolling down, and they're like, wow, look at this. I just see the same item for $2 cheaper. Let me click here. And so it takes them to a new web of listings. And I mean, they could be stuck in an endless loop for all we know, but all because they're trying to get down to your item description to see if this is going to fit whatever, right? So they're just making it difficult. All they got to do is get some people in there that can think as a seller, maybe actually sell on the platform, and they wouldn't be implementing a lot of these changes. Yeah, Tommy says that was a very sad but necessary video Pete put out. It was almost like he was like about to say, look, guys, I'm done. I ain't going to be doing videos anymore. If I could read his mind, that's kind of the way I could tell that's kind of how he felt, because sometimes you feel that way. You get the 1% or 2% that like to troll. And I left a comment on his video. I said, Pete, just keep doing what you're doing. The way I handle it now, if you can't, you can disagree with me all you want. And I'm sure there's a lot of you guys. I mean, Tommy disagrees with me on every live stream, but you know what? He does it in a way that doesn't attack, right? And that's just it. You want to attack somebody. You want to talk about someone's family. You want to talk about who they are as a person, or ask them why they're abusing their animals, which I think is just stupid stuff, right? And they're trying to get a rise out of you, and they're trying to upset you. They're trying to cause upset.
They're trying to make
and those people, it's time to block. Okay.
Yeah.
There's millions of channels. I think there are millions of channels on YouTube.
I would go with hundreds.
Well, there's a lot. So
Thousands.
Make up the number in your mind how many channels there are on YouTube, and you're welcome to go visit them with the same nastiness. But this one you're not welcome on, and you block them. They send emails. You just you send it to spam, and it'll block those emails. So they'll get tired after no response. See, that's just it. That keeps the fire going.
Mm-hmm.
The response. And I almost feel bad that that Pete actually had to make this video, because it's almost like it's a win for the trolls, right? The trolls got him to make a video to talk about it, and it's going to add fuel to their fire to continue doing what they do.
It puts a spotlight on them, and so they think they feed off of it.
Yeah,
and you can't give them the recognition that
they Pete's too good of a guy for that to happen to. You know, but you know, I would just say at this point, if trolls want to be disrespectful, they're not serious, and I'm only interested in dealing with serious people. So
Tommy said, I disagree. I don't disagree every live stream, just when I'm here.
Big Mama says, hi guys, do you know what's going on with FedEx? Every order I've sent out in the past week blocks FedEx Ground. Have you noticed this? Usually I'm able to choose between USPS Ground or FedEx. The only time I could ever see that blocking FedEx or UPS would be is if there's a PO box involved. Otherwise, and you want to go into your shipping policies on your larger items and block or exclude your PO boxes. I can't really say why that is. I have not seen that. And I have seen it where like one time it might say UPS Ground, but then you go to the bottom and it'll say like FedEx Ground is like grayed out. And it could be like their link with eBay is down and they're not able to give you a quote. That's from what I've seen when that's happened a few times. That's kind of what I think's happening. Carl Becker's here. Got home late, but you probably still have a half an hour to go. You're probably right. And that was a half an hour ago when he said a half an hour to go. So Mark says the item that didn't sell for 2 years that I parked with 30 and 50 shipping sold last night was a $2 simple wall telephone jack. Some buyers are nuts, but you know what? Maybe that buyer came across your listing and said, wow, I've been looking for this very thing. I have not been able to find it. And yeah, $30 seems, $80 seems kind of high, but if I don't buy this now, I may never see it again.
Right.
And so, especially if money doesn't matter to people, you know, you'll see this, you go to the casinos out here in Vegas and you see people like putting hundreds upon hundreds of dollars in a hand. They lose and they're like, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. And so what may be expensive or like, wow, this is crazy that they'd spend $80 for this item, to you might seem like chump change for someone else. So I don't get weirded out. Now, if they spend $61.20 on a label when they didn't have to, then I'm like, okay, what's going on here, guys? Colleen's Encouragement Minute. I'm pretty excited about years of illness and struggle. I just bought a house. Awesome. Congratulations. I just put my store on time away for the first time. I'm sure I'm going to have to build up sales again when I open. Maybe just the day before you're ready to put 100% in it, then open it back up, right?
I would do it a couple days before.
Mary O is in the house. I've had a lot of trouble putting white jewelry items that look like ivory but are actually bone or plastic. eBay takes them down and tells me I'm in violation of animal policy or such some such wording. Yeah, you can't sell ivory on eBay, but I mean, come on.
But she probably isn't.
But maybe it's within your item description. Maybe you're putting something to the effect of these are plastic or bone, but they look a lot like ivory. Maybe the fact that you're using the word ivory somewhere in your listing, even though you're not saying it is what's setting the bots off in the background.
Yeah, there might be some kind of keyword that's triggering that.
Let's see. Tommy says 30 days buyer paid returns on shoes. Anything else is a warranty, especially it'll only be a headache. Yeah. And so I take it that you get that return request after 30 days. You're like, no.
You changed his wording, and so you confused me.
What? How did I change the wording?
You said especially warranty instead of basically. Warranty especially, and will only be a headache. It's warranty basically.
Did my lack of English knowledge confuse you?
You just threw me for a loop.
Sorry. English is my first language. Ray Gardner says, if I'm awake, I'm usually doing eBay. It varies, but I'd guess 10-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah, because somebody earlier asked how long do we actually work eBay?
You know, how sad is this? Maybe it's just because I'm sad. I'm sitting at the World Series of Poker last week. I'm grinding away. I'm focused on poker, and I catch myself thinking about my sales and eBay. This is so stupid.
He's so worried about his phone dying. He's like, I left my charger in the car. I'm like,
yeah. I brought my earbuds to listen to music or whatever at the table, but that never happened because I'm focused on the game. But at the same time, it's like, ooh, I got an offer. Let me pause here real quick, like call timeout, time on the hand,
Excuse me, everybody. eBay is asking a question.
Yeah. And I had a couple cha-chings at the table, but whatever. Kelly says, I used to buy Levi shoes at Ross, was a seller because I thought they were cute, but I learned later they're just cheap licensed product. Yeah. The regular Levi stores don't even carry.
Yeah, we have one pair of Levi. Yeah. They look like kind of like Vans, but they've been up for a while. And
Archie, that's affirmative. Yes.
Yes. Archie, moderate your own comments.
John Gaynor says, hi, Jenna and John. I love the videos during the week. Always great information. Started listing again because of your upbeat attitude, and sales have been good for this time of year. Awesome. Glad I can give you some kind of motivation. It just sometimes I'll just make videos and I start doing a little check in the back of my mind. Okay, is someone gonna think that this is like negative? Am I covering the same thing I covered already? Is it gonna come off this way or that way? I'm just gonna start doing videos, and if maybe you don't agree with me or someone else doesn't agree with me, then just hang in there with me. The next time we'll get it right. But I'm just trying to put out content that I think someone might be amused and enjoy watching. So.
Question: do you guys enjoy when he puts in the bloopers at the end of the video? Because I find it absolutely hysterical. Because sometimes I'm in the room with him when he's doing it, and it is a riot. Yeah. Okay, but I'm just wondering.
I already make a fool of myself on these lives, so it's like to do it every video. I don't know.
He like yells at himself, cusses out himself.
Damn idiot. But it is what it is. But thanks, John. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. That's really cool. Here. Time Traveler's Chess says, hi, John and Jenna. You're looking great. Hit that like button and get a sale. John will refund your shipping cost also. Yes. That's right. I'll certainly do that. Oh, it's just a food app trying to get me to eat again. Let's see. Tommy says eBay isn't about guessing. Your listings quality report tells you the average ad rate your competitors are using. Google is your friend. Yes, Tommy actually showed that. Before he had showed that to me, I had not seen it before, but it has a lot of good information. I think sometimes we allow our feelings to get in the way. Like, oh, I feel like I should have sold $1,000 today. And we allow our feelings to override the reality that maybe you just had a bad day, right? That's why I didn't start diving in anything about this markdown sale thing. I didn't even know it was a thing until I started looking to see, just to check my account. Does everything look like it's in order after like the third day of like, okay, something's not right. But, I just can't see myself doing that every day. Just do your very, very best as a reseller. Did you put in the kind of time you needed to put in today? If the answer is no, well, that might be, oh, got a sale.
We got a sale.
I sold everything and the kitchen sink. I just listed that right before. This is the funny thing. I was like, okay, I'm scrambling around. I'm trying to get this done. He not? And I'm like, let me finish this listing and then I'll be in there. And boom, I'm glad I did. because if I would have done that tonight after the live was done, that buyer would have bought their sink from someone else. So awesome. Let's see. Jimmy D says, I have a lot of listing templates that are several years old that I use daily. Do you think with all the item specific changes, I could wipe them all out and start over?
I mean, you could, but I would just modify them.
There's some sellers out there that'll say, look, I've got hundreds upon hundreds of hats or hundreds upon hundreds of this and that. And while I think, it's going to save you time if you have a template set up, like for instance, I've got a hat listing set up, right? And I'm going to copy and do like 100 copies of that listing. It's going to have the basic things set up. It's going to have your category correct. It's going to have a lot of the required things correct, but you're still going to have to go in there. In my opinion, you can't treat that black hat like a red hat. You can't just say multicolor on everything. You're going to have, if someone's looking for a red hat and you have multicolor selected, it ain't going to come up in their filter. I just think that if you do templates, like I was doing that with albums, right? I had templates set up to where the verbiage was the same in my item description or my condition description and in my item description. I can go in there and tweak the little things that separate that item from the next. But that'll save you time. But if you're going to launch the template without really making any changes, then I don't know how well. I mean, look, you can still make those sales, but the problem is the less you have correct in your listing, the less chance that it's going to sell. That's why you see a lot of these big stores that are only selling at a 1 to 400 clip, like one item for every 400 items they have listed. And that's really bad. I got to tell you, from what I've seen, just looking at stores and this is easy to do. You can go on and see what they have for sale, see how many items they've sold in the last 90 days. And, most stores are selling somewhere around 1 to 150. Well, one item out of every 1 to 150 items that they have in their store, they're selling one item a day. And that's kind of the average, but to do like 1 out of every 400 or 500 listings, that's a really bad sell-through rate, guys. And I think you'd be better off improving your sell-through rate and making sure that all of your items are unique and are showing unique factors like color, size, than just putting them all into the same template. Jay Scott says, if I get a sale before 10 p.m. tonight, Will Ferrell my way around the block. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's Friday. I am not reading very well. You hit the like button. I'll start reading these sentences correctly. Video it. Mary says, I'm not 100% sure how pirate ship works, just that you can enter the seller's address with the buyers along with the dimensions, weight of the package. Is there some way eBay links to it? It's the opposite. You link your pirate ship to your eBay account. So you go into pirate ship, you set up your free account, and then under your account, you link, you give it permissions. It's an API. So it'll go into, once you've signed in to eBay from pirate ship, it'll link everything together, your open orders, so that when you go click, there's like an eBay button that'll pop up when you go to ship your item, and it'll give you a list of items that you have ready to ship on eBay, and it'll import the address data. So you don't have to, do anything except go in and add the dimensions. And if it's an international package, you got to, play the customs form game, but you're going to get better rates on pirate ship than you will eBay. Ferret Fan says, eBay wants every buyer to get stuck in an infinite loop of clicking around promoted listings, and they want sellers to pay for promoted listings advance and pay per click. That'll never happen with me. And I say never, meaning that only if I have an item that's like 5 or 6, like that printer scale thing I sold for $800. I didn't have to do any promoted advanced on that. I just waited a week and a half and got it to sell. Silver Hair Stacker Todd says, an attack on Pete is like an attack on all of us. Yeah, yes. I was quite bothered by that and what he said. Of course, the hate hasn't come here to that extent. But again, I had someone like a year and a half ago reach out to me, and they knew that I supported Joe DeMarco's channel, Crazy New York Driver. And they were even making videos on YouTube about him, taking clips of his videos, calling him this, that, and the other thing. And so they started asking me why I, watched his channel and started attacking me, sending me emails. And it was like, okay, we're going to not only block this person and the multiple accounts they set up whenever they appear, but they're going to be blocked on email. And when you don't talk to these people, you don't make them feel like they have value in this life. If you just ignore them like they don't exist, most of them will go away. And hopefully that's a tip to Pete to try. Just
right. But sometimes it takes everything in you. You've been bullied. Like, this is a form of bullying. Yeah. You get bullied and bullied and bullied and bullied, and finally you just crack. And I don't blame them.
And I think sometimes we tend to think like, wow, I mean, why would they say that about me? Right. The idea that you would give anyone that kind of impression that you are that way when you're not, it bothers you. Right. But you got to realize you're really not putting that out there that you're that way. They're basically putting that on you and anyone else who reads that comment. And those people need to be shunned away from your channel. And, maybe there's a good knitting YouTube channel out there that they can go troll. But that's my stance. You put stupid stuff in, you're going to get nothing out of it, because I'm not going to give you the time of day. Insight says eBay's time away system automatically adjusts shipping time to return dates for fixed price sales, but not if you send or accept offers. Seems odd, yet buyers get 4 days to pay. Yeah. They get the deal, and they get to have it on sale, and they get the layaway program.
And the layaway.
But if you're willing to pay full price, you got to pay now. That sounds fair. Yeah. Ferret fan says, found 10 seatbelt extenders at the Goodwill bins. eBay took them down today because of some stupid parents using them on car seats so their toddlers can unclick them before a car accident. Really?
Wow.
Well, have you tried Mercari? You could try that. Kelly Clarkson says, I've had a listing error yesterday trying to revise an item with the word ivory in the title. Had nothing to do with actual ivory, LOL.
Yeah, it's just safer just not to put the word ivory, whether it's the color or
misspell it.
Yeah.
Just pretend like I'm saying the word and what it would sound like, and just type that in. LSGS Rob says, got in late, but I'm not understanding these issues and so-called shutdowns. At the end of the day, sales, views, etc. will go up and down. It's all about what you're selling. Yeah, you see that it's like, I feel there could be a shutdown coming, or there has been a shutdown. I tend to go in and look for like some facts, like like I give Ina Steiner a lot of credit. She usually has a lot of good facts and details. When she's writing an article about something, I'll read it and give her some, credit for actually having her stuff together. And that's not to say that a lot of these channels don't. Heck, there's times I give out bad information, but a lot of times I'll try to bring you guys a screenshot or something to help, bring some credibility to what I'm saying. And, you're right. It's all about what you're selling. If your sell-through rate is good, you're going to be able to sell an average item versus someone that's selling that same average item that has a store with a crappy sell-through rate. I'm a firm believer that your store's sell-through rate has a little bit to do, just like your promoted rate, just like your title, just like your price, just like the number of photos you use, all kind of bundled together to strengthen the quality of your listing. And that all gets calculated in the best match search. So Christine Moses says, most artificial ivory scrimshaw is made of resin. Maybe figure out what the ivory is made of. Or just say, what it's made of, and don't make reference to ivory. Yeah. Tommy says, John at poker yelling, I got a frush.
Yeah.
No, you got to have that poker face. You can't let them know what you have. See what else we have.
Yes to the bloopers.
The bloopers?
Yeah.
I know. Maybe at the end.
I can't. It brings the whole video together.
But how often do you?
I mean, not all the time.
How often do you self-deprecate? I don't know. LSGS Rob says, my sales go up and down all the time as they should. I had $560 day The other day, 200 in the next, and now back to a normal $300 to $350 day. Don't worry about it. It's usually out of my control. Yeah.
It all averages out.
I mean, who checks to see? I had $1,100 day on, was it Monday or whatever? Friday. I mean, was it Friday? Yeah, whatever day it was. Friday. I think it was Monday. But nonetheless, I mean, who starts like going, uh-oh, I just sold $1,100 a day. There's got to be something wrong. Maybe they're giving me too much traffic. Uh-oh, let me call eBay. Let me find out why that happened. No, you just go with it. You'd be happy knowing that you're going to get some days that you're not going to get many sales, and just move on. It's when you start falling into like a hole, like every day is horrible, where, it's been consistent for months. Now maybe something's going on, but I'd be willing to bet that something's going on could be within you, maybe your listing habits or other things. This particular time, it happened to be a glitch, but I can go back last year. There's days that I didn't do that great, and it's because a lot of it was what I was selling. So
last year, something.
Yeah. Thomas says, I've never made it to the end. I get nervous when he keeps trying to take me to the other side. Not sure what or who you're talking about, but I agree and I don't agree. How about that? Biscuit Butt says, Kevin's Commonwealth Picker is making me pass out his stickers, making me save $1, spend $1, and give him back the $1. Interesting. Gravity Goods. Cameron says, you will go broke quickly then, Biscuit Butt. Okay, cool. Let's see who else we have here. Like looking for new names here. Drain the Swamp 2024. We should have a YouTube celebrity Texas Hold'em game for charity.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be profitable. I can tell. I'm not a master at anything, but I'm very good at many, many things. And poker happens to be one of those things. Andrew Martin says, it's an emotional roller coaster. 40 in sales yesterday, 120 day before, then 800 today. Well, at least you're going the right direction. But don't be upset when the roller coaster goes down. What goes up must come down, right? LSGS Rob says, sales will always go up and down regardless if you sell here or any other platform, as well as if you had your own brick and mortar store, right? I agree with that 100%. We have Marco Carpio says, hey guys, just stop by to say hi. It's hot in Vegas. It's kind of like
actually
muggy today.
It's muggy. It was raining all morning. And then it cleared up. It's 83 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Big Mama says, thanks for answering. I just found your channel and I appreciate the information you share so kindly. Well, no, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. It's folks like you who drop in and check out the channel for the first time and they hit the subscribe button. That'll help us get over 20K. So thanks for being here. Sammy Hall says, I enjoy your videos. Being a seller is kind of lonely. No one talks to talk about. It's like you're on eBay Island. Glitches, feelings about the eBay. You cover them. It's relatable. Sorry if nonsensical. I speak English. Fingers do not. Well, guess what? My English is worse, so don't worry about it. Moonmug says, what channel is Pete? Pete is Craigslist Hunter. He is one of the OGs of eBay, or actually just reselling in general. Craigslist Hunter, 2 words. So for those of you who do not know Pete's channel, I'm going to give him a shout out right now. Go check him out after you check out the ATL Pickers Flippers channel. I'm sure he'll appreciate the 2 people that haven't heard of his channel. Sorry, he's a big channel. So he's a big deal in the reselling world. So
Megan Denso.
Uh-oh. That's someone's family member. That's Jenna's sister.
That's my sister.
We have Thrifter Sifter. What's going on, everyone? Well, thank you for showing up and hanging out with us today. And I guess Archie sent the Evite. Yes. Archie is the super fan. He is the biggest fan on every channel. That's 100% for sure. But thanks for being here, Thrifter Sifter. Awesome that you're here. Raheel CH says, I'm moving myself to TikTok slowly. eBay has lots of fees. TikTok has 5%. eBay is not giving my listings views. So TikTok will charge you a fee, huh? That's interesting. Didn't even realize that. Sylvia Hunt says, I bring from Brazil 2 ivory. My mom bought when I was like 13 years old. That time was very expensive. I tried to sell and wasn't that much. Interesting, though, that you were able to make a sale on that. So interesting. Purple Hustle says it's insane how saturated the liquidation industry compared to 2 years ago. I have to constantly fight for pallets, be on top of it with my account manager. Yeah, pallets are dead to me right now, honestly. Even after the free one that I got through, was it via trading? Good people, but it's not their fault that the liquidation industry is very saturated. A lot of people buying liquidation for the bin stores, and it's very picked through. So the value you were getting out of pallets 2 to 3 years ago just aren't there anymore. And thankfully, I'm able to be in the liquidation game, and I can liquidation game. I told you my English. Don't make fun of my English. So the liquidation game for me is a little different than it used to be, and I'm making it work. So pallets are no longer in my crosshairs.
Oh, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there and the moms pulling dad duty and all the other people who, are just stepping it up in the dad role. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Jovial Juggler says, finally, after 10 days, eBay is allowing me to cancel that layaway order that they had placed 10 days ago. That's awesome. So we have a lot of sidebar, but Tommy says, if an item isn't getting views, you need to promote or no one is looking. That's right. Yeah. You're going to be buried. And, I was thinking of this analogy. This is kind of how the reselling world is. Let's just use Walmart for an example. I think everyone's been in a Walmart at some point in their life. You walk in, okay, so you're now in eBay. So you're now in the world of eBay. So now you have different categories within eBay. Those are the different aisle numbers, right? So you go and you're shopping down a different aisle, and you'll notice that some items are at the end of the store. You got to walk all the way to the back, and the promoted items are at the end caps or right in front of the store. And those companies are paying extra to have their items exposed. Unfortunately, eBay's version of this analogy is they have people who go in there to stock the shelves, and they're falling over like, pools of water, this, that, and other thing, and they have no recourse. That's who we are. We're constantly stumbling and falling into like walls and slipping on spilled water or whatever. And eBay's like looking at us like, okay, it's your problem as a seller. Bad analogy turned worse, I know, but
that was the longest.
That was a long-winded one and a bad analogy, but it's no different than a brick and mortar, right? eBay just has different parts of the store, like eBay Motors is on one side, watches is on another. In fact, they're promoting those categories to be more at the front of the store. Our stuff's in the clearance aisle kind of thing. Can we shut that?
Why is that thing coming back?
That robot.
The vacuum is back.
He's an overachiever, and we thought he was going to start at 5, and he's like, nope, we're starting early today. Yeah, not very happy with that. But just think of it like that. It's no different than a brick and mortar. You're just online, and you're competing with a lot of people, and you're competing for placement of your item within that store where it's visible and not in the back corner of the store when no one will see it. Jimmy D says, if everyone would promote 1% under the current rate, then we should see a race to the bottom, just saying. But I'm not sure that if everyone did that eBay would adjust theirs down anyway. I really think that it's eBay's way of finding ways to get more money out of the seller by increasing the suggested rate. Just me, but I don't think eBay has our best interest in mind when it comes to fees. That is going to continue to go up. Sherman said eBay is like the clearance aisle of Walmart. Purple Hustle, been thinking about getting into clothes for liquidation. I hate clothing, but I've noticed people are fighting for clothing pallets the way they are for general merchandise. There's nothing wrong with clothing. I just think that if you're getting into clothing, you're going to have a larger store. And of course, there's smaller items. You're going to have more, maybe you're limited in space, but you're going to have more room because you're selling clothing to work with than if you're selling large items like me. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. I mean, certainly you can maybe start a new store, give it a shot, maybe make it a niche, see how it goes. And if it goes well, then gravitate over to that. But I think I've kind of found, my sweet spot in that, it's just the large items for me. And I think it's because people don't want to mess with large stuff that, I'm up against less competition because of it. Lisa wants to know, what do you think of Pirate Ship? I know nothing about it. I think that their rates are very comparable to eBay discounted top-rated seller rates. You're going to find that with international rates, you're going to be at a little bit better price point. And if you're, let's say you're doing international sales, not using eBay's international shipping program, but the other one where, you simply charge the buyer a rate based on the weight and size of the item. And a lot of times eBay will charge them like $21. You'll go on to Pirate Ship, it's only going to cost you $14. So you're saving money at the end of the day. I think it's a good alternative. Ferret Fan says, I would bet my entire inventory that the suggested ad rate isn't based on a true average. I think really that ad rate's going up, and it's going up for one reason. I think it's going up because that's how they justify getting more money from the seller. My thought is, when does it end and how high does it go? Yeah. That's why I draw the line at 10%. I don't care how high it's suggested. 10% for me in a category for a listing is just enough. That puts you at like almost 24% after it's all said and done. And that's all I'm willing to give. Hustle and Grow says, with all the data that eBay has collected, I'm surprised they haven't taken a page out of Amazon and Walmart's book and begun selling items themselves to increase revenue. I just think that they don't have the infrastructure to do that. They can't even get their site right. That's just the reality of it. Thrifter Sifter says, the good thing about clothing for me is I don't leave as many thrift stores or garage sales empty-handed. Sometimes hard to source just hard goods here, especially thrift stores. Yeah, there was a time we went to the bins. I couldn't find anything at the bins. So in my mind, it's like, I got to leave here with something. So I started going through the clothing and I brought it home. And Jenna's like, why did you bring this home? Right. But to my credit, some of it that we did list did sell. But you just got to do it. And it just depends on what you're trying to make. Some people get by with 200 to 300 items in their store, and they're all clothing, and they're happy with making 1 or 2 sales a day because it supplements maybe their full-time job, and they just do this on the side. But if you're doing it full-time, you really got to ramp up your game to really get a lot of items in your store. Purple Hustle, speaking of bin stores, not sure how most of them are going to stay in business. I know inventory is getting scarce for HPC loads. Yes, I just think that right now these stores are getting their merchandise. They're able to get it, but it makes it impossible for us to get the stuff that we're looking for as resellers. If we're looking at pallets and the stuff we usually get the stuff that's left over that the bin stores don't even get. So that's why for me, it's just not even on my radar anymore. Jimmy D says, happy Father's Day, John. Thank you and Jenna for all your reselling contribution. It's really appreciated. I'm out. Well, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for being here. You too have a great Father's Day and everything. I appreciate that. Purple Hustle says, the day eBay starts selling inventory will be the day I quit eBay. There's a reason why I stopped selling on Amazon. I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon. Andrew says, I'm fortunate being in Phoenix. The thrifting is pretty good. I've got been 7 miles away and never been. So yeah, bins are decent for like liquidation, but we have a bin store here. It's a Goodwill bin. It's not the same as a liquidation bin store. Thrifter Sifter, it can be tedious but super easy to ship. Clothing, yes. Oh yeah, just use those poly bags. You got to have poly bags if you're dealing with clothing. Tommy says, we know for a fact the suggested rate isn't an average. Again, listing quality report is your friend. Tells you the average of your competitors in each category. Yeah, excellent. That's good advice. Lisa Dury says, thumbs up, y'all. Like. Yes, hit the like button, guys. We are almost at 2 hours in, and we're kind of at the end of the road when it comes to this live stream.
It's hot in here.
But I just want to remind everyone that for U.S. mail, no pickup on Monday. That is a federal holiday, Juneteenth. But if you ship out like we do, FedEx, they do pickups on that day. Now, I believe I'd have to look at it. In fact, maybe I'll do it now while I have you guys here with me. Of the items that I've sold this afternoon, eBay is expecting me to ship this by the 20th. Okay, so they're expecting me to ship it on Tuesday. So you do have reprieve, at least through eBay's eyes, to get your shipping done by Tuesday when you normally would have it done on Monday if you take the weekend off. So free day, guys. So enjoy your holiday or your day off of shipping. And I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. But just know, again, we talk about it almost every time we get on this live. We're going to come across issues. There's going to be shutdowns where eBay like reboots the system to implement new software to, whatever, play with their AI program or whatever it is. They're going to continue doing that. They're not going to ask us for permission. We're going to continue to be beta testers for their website. And you're just going to have to understand, you're going to come across the issues, and these are obstacles in your way. And we're just going to have to become very good at navigating through those obstacles. But again, it's just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great weekend. Enjoy time with family. Spend time with your father if he's still around. I got to tell you, my father's not here. Miss him a lot. And if I could, I would definitely be spending time with him this weekend, because life is very short, and you just don't know how much time you have with your family and your parents if they're still around. So have a great weekend, everyone, and we will talk to you guys very soon.